Game Up Hard Hydration. It's like your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink got together, had a baby, but it's so much better. Let them know why we love Game Up.
It's because it's got 4 great flavors: fruit punch, orange, lemon lime, and grape, and it's only 110 calories, and it's low carb too. So that's why we love Game Up. Thank you, Game Up, for sponsoring the show.
ROH Final Battle. Did you get to watch the whole show?
Not the 0 hour, but yes, I did watch the show.
I did not catch the main event, and I did not rewatch the latter half of the card, but we're going to go through 0 hour really quick.
Okay.
Dark Order versus Grizzled Young Vets. I thought this was a great tag match to open the show.
I was surprised Grizzled Vets were still in the company. Glad to see it, though.
Drake pinned Silver after a high-low. Great match. Then they played a Billie Starks Athena package. And then Dave's personal favorite match of the pre-show, Harley Cameron versus Hanako.
Yeah.
It was a good match. I didn't care about it going in, but it was decent. Hanako won with a torture rack to a face plant. Sons of Texas versus the Righteous video package. Later on, you're going to see Dutch talking about being a favorite of Dusty, or Dusty having influence on him and handing down that cowbell. That's because Dutch was in NXT at one point.
Yes.
So that's how we had the Dusty connection. And to me, it sounded like the cowbell was passed down from Dusty. That doesn't become official until later. Following that, the next match on the pre-show was the Infantry versus the Undisputed Kingdom. It was another great tag match. Rockstar Supernova for the win. Bennett pins Dean. And as I'm watching this, I'm like, all right, so we've had 2 great tag matches on the pre-show.
Right.
Which stood out to me because when we're talking about tag team wrestling suffering, it's almost like ROH is this hidden wealth of talent. Like, I'm a big fan of the Infantry, big fan of the Undisputed Kingdom.
If they could do something like and get on a different platform, I think ROH could possibly give like AEW a run for their money. I don't know if Tony Khan's booking ROH too, but I feel like ROH is definitely the adage less is more. I feel like the booking's a little more simple, straightforward. And that was something I enjoyed watching the show.
Yeah, this was followed by a Chris Jericho video package, which had me wondering, what if the rematch between Jericho and Cardona happens at the Hammerstein Ballroom for GCW? Interesting food for thought.
Yeah.
But last match on the pre-show, Lee Johnson and NJ Nduka versus the Gates of Agony. This is when I wrote the note ROH tag division, I think, is the deepest after WWE.
Yeah.
Just because this is the 3rd tag match, and all these tag matches I thought were great. And maybe there is something to your Harley Cameron thing, because I thought the Harley Cameron match was all right, but I thought these matches were great.
I was happy to see EJ Nduka from his MLW days. I was happy to see him doing something with ROH, and I also was happy to see Lee Johnson still around. And, you know, they made a little heel turn afterwards, so maybe that'll be something where they'll get a little more of a push. But I
was about to say, Gates of Agony hit the gates on Lee Johnson twice, and then the pin, and then there was a double turn at the end. So very interesting story coming out of this. Overall, real enjoyable pre-show, a lot of wrestling, and I thought just enough video packages to kind of make you aware of the bigger matches. The main show starts. I thought it was a great video package hyping the importance of Final Battle in ROH, you know, kind of as the big end of the year show, as well as highlights of the big matches on the show. And the opening match, Atlantis Jr. versus Mansoor. What did you think of this match? I didn't realize there was a history between these guys.
I didn't realize there was a history at all either. I will say this. I was pleasantly surprised at times how Mansoor, I thought, was keeping up with Atlantis Jr. in the beginning with chain wrestling a little bit. Sometimes I thought it got a little clunky because I thought they were trying to do too much at different times, but I was pleasantly surprised. Overall, Atlantis Jr. is one of those talents that I kind of forget about. I don't watch a lot of, you know, Atlantis Jr., but when I see him, I'm like, this guy can go. I do enjoy his work.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match, but I questioned if it was the right one to kick off the main card.
Yes, that's a great point.
Because I thought switch this with the Kingdom and the Infantry, and, you know, that way you're kicking off the main show with a good tag match. You're featuring your tag division. You have those ROH staples that are classic in the Undisputed Kingdom, David and Bennett, and then you've got the Infantry, who are like the new favorites.
Yes. Yes.
At the end of the match, Danhausen comes from under the ring, punches Mason Madden in the dick. Atlantis hits hip with a dive to the outside, hits him with a dive to the outside. Sunset flips Mansoor. Mansoor goes to the outside. Atlantis goes over the top on MXM. Frog splash on Mansoor for the win. Big ending kind of run there. Mason Madden post-match attack. Interrupted by Danhausen, poured teeth in his mouth. How happy are you for the Danhausen return?
It did not do a damn thing for me.
I was gonna say we'll move on. You almost sound as excited about meeting Santa tonight, but
Yes.
video promoting Collision and Dynamite from Hammerstein and end of the year shows was after that, followed by a video of Chris Jericho backstage. The mic sounded like shit when the interviewer was talking to Jericho, but it cleaned up when Jericho got on the mic. You know, disingenuous hyping of New York.
Yeah.
This went from going like I thought this felt beyond tired to this is almost where it felt hilarious, and I enjoyed the promo for what it was.
Right.
I'm still not a fan of Jericho, like, at the moment, but, like, this is the best of Jericho that I've seen lately.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, it's almost like one of those comedic bits that I'm not particularly enjoying, but he's so committed to it. He's kind of wearing me down at different times. Like, all right.
This was followed by the match that I was most excited for when I saw it announced. Katsuyori Shibata versus Tommy Billington. What did you think of this match? Did you enjoy it as much as I did?
Pleasant surprise to see Tommy Billington on this card. Here's a guy I wished it was doing more and I wish was on AEW. I feel like you could do more with him. I mean, just given his style, you know, seeing him against somebody like a Ricochet or an Osprey. Actually, talk about him later, but Commander and stuff will be have some really good matches with too, I bet. But he had a great match here with Shibata. I enjoyed this match. I hope we see more of Tommy Billington, though. I feel like he has a great upside.
Definitely. Shibata won with a rear naked choke. This was followed by a Jay Lethal and QT Marshall video recap. Another match with long time history. I didn't realize it. Nothing huge, but makes this match feel like something. Followed by QT Marshall versus Jay Lethal. I enjoyed this match way more than I expected to. QT coming out dressed like Macho Man.
NWO.
Jay Lethal coming out like Black Machismo with the sensational Karen Jarrett.
Yes, that was a nice touch.
Super gimmicky match, but that's fine. It's to be expected from Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett right now.
Yeah.
Fun, but gimmicky. At one point, they had him. Who is the woman that was with the other team? Because he picks her up and does the Elizabeth spot.
I was wondering if that was QT's wife. I never looked into that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but then it was revealed, you know, it wasn't Karen. She was giving him the eyes. It led to Jeff Jarrett coming down, but Lethal.
Hold on.
Dave's getting the answer.
Our trusted source Wikipedia has something here that I had up just for like remembering some of the matches. They have a name. I'm not going to actually look up her through Wikipedia, but I am going to look up. They have a name here. Looks like Karen.
You're going to Google her in OnlyFans.
I'm going to Google her though. Yeah. Because I don't.
Well, the match ended. Lethal hit Marshall with a cutter and pins Marshall. So
yeah, interesting. Well, so if you look her up, there's another Karen Fazio that shows up from like these LinkedIn profiles, so it's kind of hard to know.
All right, well, we'll move on.
Let's move on.
Red Velvet versus Layla Hirsch video package, and Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet for the ROH Women's Television Championship.
You remember how
it was wrapped out to the ring by Red? I believe. I didn't know who this lady was, but did her thing.
You remember how I said earlier that I was pleasantly surprised by Mansoor able to like chain wrestle a little more, but it got clunky? Yeah. It was similar to this match. I felt like there was some great chain wrestling and different things that I liked at times, but it also got clunky at some times. I do not know why. I love Layla Hirsch. I like her style for her size because she kind of comes off like a little pit bull. One move I would get away from her arsenal, and it's just my take, the snake eyes. I never know why she does that because to me, a lot of times it misses horribly. If it goes well, it goes well, but I've seen it mess up quite a few times, and I feel like her height is part of the issue with that. I mean, if you think of guys who did like the snake eyes before, the first ones that comes to my mind was like Kevin Nash.
Yeah, I could see it. Great match. I thought Velvet got a piece of the turnbuckle from under the ring. Paul turned and took it, and while he was distracted, Velvet hits Hirsch with a wrench that she had hidden and gets the pin. It was a gimmicky end, but I enjoyed the match overall.
Yeah, it was fine. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as you, but I would say Yeah, I enjoyed it overall.
Followed by a Lee Moriarty open challenge video, shows the
Yes.
judges, Jerry Lynn, Rocky Romero, Christopher Daniels. And then you have the official open challenge. Lee Moriarty comes out.
Yeah.
Nigel McGuinness responds and makes it old school rules. And I just want to know, if there was one quote from this match that you just giggled the whole day about, what would it be?
I don't know, because this is what I was going to tell you. This got spoiled for me because when I was watching Final Battle, I watched this one from the middle for a bit right before I went to bed because I tuned in and I was so excited to see McGuinness, and I missed like the beginning pre-talk. So when I went back to watch it, I didn't think of it. And I did hear that he had some pretty funny lines, but I never went back to watch it, so I don't know.
So you don't know what the line is?
I have no idea. No.
You're going to make me say this on Christmas Day wearing a Christmas hat.
It's up to you.
Right, we're going to take down the graphic for a moment so you can see my face while I do this. Dave, get ready, because you missed the line. Just because you have hair around your mouth, there's no excuse for talking like a pussy.
Actually,
Merry Christmas, everybody.
About this, and I'll tell you why. I did end up seeing this quote. Here's why I forgot about it, because I accidentally opened that video. I saw a clip of it next to my girlfriend. She's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, I don't know, and I didn't know, so I just deleted that. But I didn't hear the hair on the mouth part. I just heard him call him a pussy, so that's why I didn't. Okay, that's pretty good.
Word around the water cooler is that's what Santa's going to be muttering behind the shed tonight. But Nigel is exploiting the rules early for to get the advantage on Moriarty, because that's how he always played these matches.
Yeah.
Shane Taylor calls out Paul Turner, so there's a second ref. Moriarty starts to turn the tide. Great match. Moriarty tapped out Nigel with a crossface, and this was very enjoyable.
I'm happy Lee got the win, even though I'm a big Nigel fan, and I'm happy to see Nigel back, and I wish that maybe he'd get a few wins on this comeback, but at the same time, seeing him put over a talent like Lee is pretty cool.
Yeah, this was followed by Sons of Texas versus The Righteous video package. I was mostly unfamiliar with this feud, but this video had me excited for the match. Hard not to enjoy a double bull rope match. There was a couple years ago, we went to a final battle with a double dog collar match. So
yeah, Briscoes and FTR, amazing. I really enjoyed the element that they talked about. This was the bull rope and the bell that was used on superstar Billy Graham, and I liked a lot of that talk. It really made this match mean a little more to me, because I was like, oh, that's interesting. Even though like obviously to me, if that's legit, then that means Dustin obviously has the bell and they're using it. I don't buy that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I just didn't see Dusty probably giving it to Dutch.
Fight broke out before the bull ropes could be applied.
Yes.
Vincent resists being attached to a rope at first, but eventually Dustin attaches to Dutch. Sammy attaches to Vincent. And I'm going to be honest, on my rewatch, that's about as far as I got. I really enjoyed this match. I watched it that Friday. I kind of fell asleep during a few matches. I was awake for this. I did enjoy it. But as far as my notes being super descriptive, that's where it stops on my end.
Just a fun brawl. I mean, Dustin and Sammy over-deliver. I feel like every time, especially Dustin at his age, to deliver the way he does. Happy that they got the win, because Dustin still had not had an AEW contract when this match was taking place. I don't know if you read the news, but he actually did sign an AEW contract. I saw something about it yesterday as of recording this. So super cool. He says he's probably going to finish his career out in AEW. I mean, hey, there's a part of me that would have liked to see him with Cody in WWE for a little bit, right? Just because such a big stage. But I also like to see, if there's one guy who's been handled pretty well in AEW, especially with his most recent Ring of Honor run, it's Dustin Rhodes. So happy for him.
Yes, we had Brian Cage defending, I believe it's the ROH television champion.
It is. So
multi-man match, Commander, AR Fox, Blake Christian, Mark Davis, and Willie Mack going up for that championship.
So this was the match that I love the most, and I would recommend, if you're going back to ever watch this show, this is the one I would watch for, one of these like survival of the fittest matches. Like, I don't know, so many people involved and stuff. I wasn't sure like if I was going to love it, but it was so crazy. Blake Christian comes out here and he's got with like a vanilla ice cream cone, light shining in the background as when he comes out. I don't know what that's from, but he had quite a response for Hammerstein Ballroom, I think, because of his GCW connection, because obviously, he's more of a heel. Brian Cage was eliminating people. I want to say it was AR Fox he eliminated, Willie Mack, and he was just on fire. And all of a sudden, Mark Davis eliminates Brian Cage, and we know we're going to have a new TV champion. And right as they're putting that over, here comes Blake Christian with a low blow, and he eliminates Mark Davis, and it's down to Blake Christian and Commander. The crowd is going insane because I guess Commander was close to winning last year too. And I thought, okay, the way they set it up, it looked like Blake Christian was going to have his moment, but no, this crowd was nuts for it. And Commander walks away, the new ROH TV champion.
Yeah, big title change on this show. Next up, Chris Jericho versus Matt Cardona.
Yeah, a lot of gimmicky shit.
World Championship. I was expecting Cardona to win it. I was hoping.
Yeah.
But this felt, once again, like another gimmicky match. It didn't felt like it matched up to the expectation I had for it.
I think a lot of it had to do with the booking. I would have liked to seen Cardona win because I really thought that'd be cool to set up, GCW's appearance in Hammerstein with Cardona as the ROH champion. You said afterwards, maybe Cardona will win the ROH title at GCW. That's something they could do. I haven't heard that match announced or anything yet, but I really would have liked to see Cardona going in as Ring of Honor champion. I think it would have meant more for that show. I think I was excited about that prospect. I was excited about Cardona holding the ROH title, beating Jericho, and it didn't happen. And instead it ended up being kind of gimmicky match. They had his dad out there. They had a lot of interference, and Jericho ended up getting the win. And then we had a Bandito come back where he got concussed afterwards. And I think for me personally, I mean, I'm sorry Bandito got concussed, but I was more upset because I thought it kind of swept Cardona under the rug, and it felt like, okay, we're moving in a new direction. And I was like, it's not what I wanted. I don't know. It's just not what I wanted personally.
Yeah, Cardona could have lost and it would have been fine, but it was him getting hit in the head with the belt and then pinned. And then on top of that, you've got Bandito coming back. So like you said, it kind of overshadows Cardona, and it feels like that's the obvious next step that they'll move forward to. It just kind of left me feeling flat, and that is why I have not seen this main event yet. That first night, I was so tired, and like this deflated me enough where I was like, I'm just gonna go to bed. And it's been such a busy week with the holiday and everything that I just wasn't able to catch up with this. So how did you enjoy this main event?
I enjoyed it a lot. Athena delivers and over delivers every time I get to see her in these main events. Billie Starks was fantastic as well. But it's something about, this is one of the most meaningful women's title reigns right now in wrestling. Like, she continues and continues to reign as champion. And at some point, they got to pull the trigger and have her lose. And I'd like to see her more on the AEW broadcast. I feel like she would add a lot to it, but it has yet to happen. And I feel like this is one of the best things Ring of Honor has going for it.
If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at drinkgameup.com or at your nearest liquor store.